Hello friends, I have a very interesting position to share with all of you. It is white to play. Before I guide you through this position, I would like you to pause the video and try to think on your own. What would you play here if you were given the white pieces? And so we have a position where kings are on opposite sides of the board. It is natural to think of opening up and attacking opposing king as the primary target. For black, this would include queen maneuver to the king side. Here from d7 square, queen and bishop are building the battery. Both bishops would be looking at our king. And then black would try to open it up with h5 and h4 to make an open h-file and continuing the attack perhaps with even the rook on h8. White cannot retaliate with the same speed. Yes, we could play something like rook to c1, which attacks our opponent's queen with a tempo. However, queen goes to the square where she wants to go, and it's very hard to combine the power of the rook with any of other pieces of white's very quickly to create threats against the black's king. Neither can white quickly open up the black king to attack it. Nevertheless, in this position, white has a very good shot to win the game, or at least get a winning material advantage. And the move is e4. At first it doesn't make much sense because it looks like a blunder. Black has 4 pieces that control that square. On the other hand, white has only 3. So sometimes we don't even consider such moves. Nevertheless, the bishop on b2 targets the dark squares that has been weakened by the black's pawn movement on the king side. The knight is indirectly attacked and hanging, and so it is also pinned against the rook on h8. The move e4 prepares the break d5. So in case black takes our pawn with the pawn, now we can play d5, which luckily is also a double attack. The queen on c6 is hanging, and so is the knight on f6. So after natural knight takes d5, we can take the rook on h8, black takes, and also the pawn on e4 seems to be dropping as well, and white is getting a winning material advantage. As we go back, you might ask, what happens if our opponent does not take with the pawn? Well, if they take with the knight, then consequences are going to be very similar. We do take with our knight, now they can take with the bishop or knight. If they take with the bishop, we again take, and get a same double attack with d5 when the black's queen on c6 together with the rook on h8 are still hanging. And if opponent takes with the pawn, we can play d5 and get a very similar story. This time opponent maybe has queen to e8 because there is no knight hanging, and after say bishop takes h8, queen takes h8, and bishop takes e4, white again gets a winning material advantage. So I like this idea of e4 a lot. It's worthy of probably a double exclamation mark, and otherwise white's position is probably not the happiest. In fact, I would be picking black if not for this fantastic idea. I hope you learned a new idea that you can implement in your games. Otherwise, at least it must have been very visually pleasing solution to the position. If you did enjoy the video, please do subscribe to my chess channel, and see you in the next beautiful position that I will share with you. Bye bye.